Welcome to Breakthrough Kids for another week this week. It's so good that you are all watching. We're loving hearing stories from people that have taken part during the weeks. We are doing something special today. We've got Ashley, our new youth worker, who's going to be speaking a bit later in the church service, telling her story about what it is to be a Christian, how she tries to be a Christian and to love Jesus and worship Jesus the way that Jesus wants her to. And we're going to hear about that later. But today we're going to, in Breakthrough Kids, we're going to hear about another person who worked hard, so hard, to live the way that Jesus wanted him to live and to love Jesus with all that he was. But his name's Peter, and he didn't always get it right, like we heard at Easter time. We're going to hear a story today that comes from Matthew 14, verses 22 through to 32. And it's Jesus walking on water, but it wasn't just Jesus that walked on water. We've got Marion who's going to tell you the rest of the story in a minute. Let's hear from her now.
Hello. Jesus had a disciple called Peter. Peter really believed Jesus was the Son of God and that Jesus could do anything. Peter was an enthusiastic fellow, and he wanted so much to be with Jesus, to follow Jesus, to be like Jesus. When it came to Jesus, Peter was all in. Do you remember that Jesus walked on water? Well, so did Peter. Peter had so much faith in Jesus that when Peter stepped out of the boat, he started walking on water.
Reporting live from the Sea of Galilee, we have footage of the actual event.
Jesus! The only problem was that Peter was human, like us. Sometimes, despite our enthusiasm for Jesus, we begin to doubt. And that's what happened to Peter. That's when Peter called out, "Save me, Lord!" And you know what happened next? Jesus reached out his hand and helped Peter. So when we doubt, or if we're troubled, we can call out, "Save me, Lord!" And Jesus will reach out and listen to us. Let's say a prayer. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you for people like Peter. Thank you that he showed us how to love you with gusto. Thank you that he showed us how forgiving you are. Jesus, I try to love you every day, but sometimes I don't love you enough. Thank you that I just have to reach out to you like Peter did when he was swamped with the waves, and you will catch me and pull me back to you. Help me to live a life like Peter, dedicated to introducing other people to you. Thank you that despite all my mistakes, you are my constant friend. Amen.
Like Marion said, when Peter sank beneath those waves and he needed help, all he had to do was reach out his hand and Jesus grabbed hold of it and helped him up. So I've got a challenge for you today. What I'd like you to do is to trace around your hand, get everyone in the family to do it, and in the middle of the hand, write, "Jesus, help me." So that reminds us that all we need to do is reach out and Jesus will help us. But in the fingers, I want you to write down how Jesus can help you. So how he could help me, for example, is that when I talk to my friend Joy in Point Lincoln and also Benji, Jesus helps me by giving those two friends of mine the words that I need to hear. He looks after me by using other people to help me and comfort me. So the other thing is also how he helps me is through singing and through reading my Bible and through prayer, singing church songs particularly, obviously. So that is a time when Jesus is able to help me, when I'm able to hear what Jesus has got to say to me, when I'm able to really connect with Jesus, and so that he is able to guide me in any issues that I have or any times that I'm struggling, just like Peter did. But I bet everyone's fingers will look different because people Jesus helps people all the time, but in lots of different ways, depending on who we are and how we're made up and how we're created. So do it with your family and see what sorts of different ways Jesus connects with people and Jesus helps people. Okay, there's your challenge. So great to have you here again this morning, and we hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye.